The Crimson Tide coming off its 14th straight Super Regional appearance, 20 straight NCAA tournament appearances in all. And with that, we welcome Murph back to the program. Murph, you ready for another run?
Heck yeah, Travis. And guess what I did this morning? I went to see the chocolate lady.
Absolutely.
She had my favorite stuff, so it's going to be a great road trip to Troy this afternoon.
Let me guess, those chocolate-covered peanut butter Ritz crackers, were they?
Yep,
are they in
dark
the mix?
Chocolate. Yep.
They hit leadoff, I think, in Murph's starting lineup for his
Yeah,
for
they
his,
do.
For his goodies.
They're almost all gone already too.
Well, you're ready to go then. And speaking of which, a team that we want to talk about is we head into the post Alexis Osorio era. Crazy to think about it in those terms. Just an all-timer, as we know, in the circle for the Alabama Crimson Tide, one of the best to ever do it in the Southeastern Conference. So with that, Murph, we got to ask you, when you look at trying to replace that kind of production at the most important position on the diamond, what are we looking at here for Alabama in 2019?
Well, we had to add 3 pitchers to try to make up for the loss of Osorio. We signed a freshman last November, Montana Fouts, great young lady. I think you're going to love watching her pitch, but you're also going to love just interacting with her. She's just a nice kid. 6'2" freshman righty from Northeast Kentucky. She was the USA Today National Player of the Year, and her work ethic is just beyond anybody that we've ever had in the circle. And even after a semester, I can honestly say that, I used to say all the time, if you have a circle drawn around you, you should be the hardest worker. And she has definitely been, her drive and determination is really something to see. And then a couple days later in that signing period, we signed the JUCO, which turned out to be the JUCO National Player of the Year last spring, and Crystal Goodman, another great young lady from Long Beach, Mississippi. She was just kind of really a pleasant surprise because we had heard how many Division I opponents that she was beating last fall in scrimmage games, but then when it came down to JUCO ball, she took her team to the national championship and lost in the if necessary game to a really good team from Tyler, Texas. And then over the summer, again, we lucked out, and there was a young lady from Hofstra University in New York that had a coaching change, and she sent her release to us and said, "Hey, would you guys have an interest?" And my first question was to my pitching coach, Stephanie Prothro, and I said, "What do you think? Can you do 5? Because we've never had 5. I mean, and most sports fans know that baseball staffs have anywhere from 14 to 16 pitchers, but softball usually has 3, maybe 4, but hardly ever 5. And Steph said, "Sure, let's do it." And so she's done a great job with all 5, and we had 2 returnees, Courtney Gettins, who's a senior, and then Madison Preston, a sophomore left-hander. So we have 4 righties and a lefty this year. Everybody throws something different. We've got 3 girls who can throw gas. Crystal Montana and Sarah Cornell all can get it up there. And then Courtney probably has our best changeup, and Madison definitely has our best drop ball. So it's going to be fun. And, the toughest thing is, for me, is, when do I take somebody out? When do I leave them in? Because we're going to have somebody fresh, hopefully, in the bullpen ready to go. So I'm going to have to learn that part of it a little bit more like a baseball coach. But it's going to be, everybody should be fresh when they go in there, which is very unusual because, Osorio, if I had asked her probably when she felt fresh, she'd probably say opening day. And then, maybe 1 or 2 times during the season because it was a lot on her last year.
Absolutely. But beginning this weekend, opening the season down at Troy with games against Murray State and Troy sandwiched around a game with Maryland. You've got 5 games down there. I guess this is an opportunity to get a look at those arms. But does it
Yep.
start with Montana Fouts tomorrow against Murray State, the true freshman?
Nope, it's going to be Crystal Goodman. She's going to go against Murray. Montana's going to get Troy. Sarah Cornell's going to get Maryland, and Courtney Gettins will get the other Murray State game. And then I'm sure Madison will pitch somewhere in there, because that is a lot of innings at the beginning of the year. And I told them the other day at practice, I said, hey, I doubt that anybody throws a complete game, but if they're throwing 60 pitches and it's the sixth inning, they might have an opportunity. But I don't want anybody throwing 120 pitches the first time out. And then we have, on the other side of it, we have 3 catchers, so we're going to kind of mix and match our catchers with our pitchers and let everybody have opportunities for sure. We have 14 hitters on the team, and I want to see everybody, how they do against, real competition, because we've been scrimmaging enough. We're ready to play somebody else, somebody different.
You talk about the offensive aspect of things, Murph, and you return some experienced pieces. Alyssa Brown, we've seen her a lot at the top of the lineup. She's hit at the bottom as well. Maris Schroeder, Bailey Hemphill gives you that pop in the middle. Kaylee Tao, much the same thing. Claire Jenkins, a very experienced player there as an infielder. Reagan Dykes behind the plate. You can use her, I guess, in some different ways. Or those sort of the core veterans that you're going to be leaning on maybe earlier in the season?
Yeah, definitely. And then add in Caroline Hardy. But the 3 that have really, I think, kind of elevated their game, and hopefully it's going to show up when we start playing, is Bailey, Claire, and Alyssa, the 3 juniors. And you're right, all 3 of them have played a lot in their career, but just something different about all of them. I don't know if it's, they all said, okay, we got 2 years left to do this, we better get our butt going, or what. But just totally different feel around them, their preparation, intentional practice, and everything they do. Reagan has been hitting the ball tremendously. Caroline's looked good. Maris is, she's got the toughest schedule of anybody academically, because she's going to be a teacher. So she's in a classroom in Moundville, 30 minutes away, and then, kind of sprints to practice every day to get the last maybe 45 minutes. But she's been looking really good. Kaylee Tao as well. And then another kid that, or 2 kids that keep an eye on that have improved. Actually, I'll say 3. It's 3 sophomores, Maddie Morgan, KB Sides, and Kyra Lockhart. Those 3 have totally turned it around, too. I think they realized that after their freshman year, we need to do some things different and work a little bit harder. And all 3 of them have been in the cage nonstop from basically since July, when we went to Japan, until this week. So I'm pleased with the work ethic and the dedication of everybody.
Now, Murph, will Fouts be exclusively a pitcher? Will she get some at bats as well?
She might. She's been hitting the whole time, and then we had a little indoor scrimmage that we just did, hitters versus pitchers, and one of the pitchers hit one of the hitters on the hand, and I don't need Montana getting hit in the hand, so
right.
She stopped doing that. But she's been hitting in batting practice, and if there's an opportunity, the summer she hit a grand slam against New Zealand over in Tokyo, so she can do it. It's just if we want to take that chance. So we'll see if there's an opportunity I could throw her in there.
Now, from a schedule standpoint, you get things going, as we said, down at Troy tomorrow morning against Murray State, play throughout the weekend pretty much there. But then you're headed to Tucson, I guess, in a couple weekends where you're going to face 5 different clubs, including host Arizona. And then spring break on Oahu, Murph.
Yeah.
Going to Hawaii this year. How about that?
Yeah, and I got the Hawaii basketball report from your wife as well. So I was hoping that you guys would come out and see your daughter, but I think they're in their conference tournament that week.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be a special trip for all of us. We went there in 2005 and haven't returned since then. And Maris Schroeder, actually, it was supposed to be her senior trip to Houston. And we go to College Station twice this year. So I said, Maris, it's spring break. We have an open weekend in the SEC. We can go to Houston for sure. And then she said, well, what's the other option? And I said, University of Hawaii. And that was a pretty quick decision on her part. So, and the best thing about it is we don't miss any school. We leave on the Monday of spring break, and we come back Sunday afternoon. And, we get to play 6 games. Hopefully, great weather, great competition. Get to see Pearl Harbor. Hopefully get to visit with your daughter. It's a trip of a lifetime for our team.
Absolutely. That'll be a blast there at UH Manoa there in Honolulu. Let's talk about the league as we let you go. We're talking with Patrick Murphy, head softball coach at the University of Alabama, on a Thursday edition of Southern Fried Sports presented by Carty and Lloyd, attorneys at law, and Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. I see the preseason polls. Alabama there tied for 9th in the coaches poll. 8 SEC teams in the top 14, Murph. Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, LSU, Kentucky, and Arkansas. Sounds like business as usual in the league, right?
I know. It's unbelievable. And you give credit to South Carolina and Arkansas, who have really kind of slowly built it up the last couple of years with the new coaching staff. And both of those schools hosted for the first time. Well, Arkansas for the first time ever last year for regionals, and then South Carolina probably for the first time since the early 2000s. And they're kind of on an upswing, and it's just like any other SEC sport. You look at all these football teams that are great, and baseball and basketball, and Tennessee men's basketball number 1. And the reality of it is somebody has to finish at the bottom, and whoever that is probably still going to be a pretty damn good team. And in softball, the last 2 years, you finished last in the SEC, you still made the NCAA tournament. So top to bottom, it's just, and Missouri got a new coach, and she's working on things there. So I wouldn't doubt for a second that she's going to get it rolling, and and then pretty soon it's going to be pretty much everybody beating up on everybody else. And you just look forward to that first weekend of NCAA play where you don't have to play another SEC school. And I know we feel that way now. But I think it's going to get even worse in the future, where you just keep, even a 2 out of 3 series in an SEC weekend is going to be a pretty darn good weekend.
An absolute grind, no doubt about it. Well, Murph, we wish you the best of luck, your team the best of luck. Headed down to Troy tomorrow to open the 2019 season. Look forward to catching up with you real soon to sort of recap the action and follow this Alabama softball team throughout the 2019 season. Thanks a lot, Murph.
Yeah. Thanks, Travis. Let's do it again next week.